Shame TV's watch. Same Shame TV, same host. I figured I got 2 more Umar Johnsin live streams to do. So I figured, why not just go ahead and knock one out on the way home. And it's not going to be that long, guys. Being that I'm traveling, I don't have any audio to play. All I need to know, all I want to play is, or say is, that I've got tons of messages, I got tons of comments, I got tons of links sent to me, and they are all not good, Umar. Now, when I go home, when I get home, and I wind down or whatever, I might go ahead and just, you know, do another video, actually a video instead of a live stream. But, and good morning to all who's in the chat so far. I don't even know, because I ain't looking down. But, yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Umar Johnsin and the money. There's been a lot of talk about Umar Johnsin and his degrees. There's also been tons of talk about Umar Johnsin and who the fuck are you really? Some of the information that I was sent was very startling because I had never come across it. And I consider myself a person who's generally in the know and in the loop when it comes to certain shit that you know, that goes on with scam artists and frauds. But Umar really was flying under the radar. Now, I know there's a few of you out here, like, what's my girl named Tasha Pope, who was, you know, on him and knew about some of the fuck shit he was doing previously and commenting about it and actually making videos and shit about it. So it's not, everybody's not, you know, in the dark the way I was, but I just assumed that the nigga Umar was a righteous dude. I assumed that he was a doctor, like he said. I assumed, why would you come out and say that shit, man, and knowing that eventually people are going to get to the bottom of that shit? Eventually, people are going to get to the bottom of that shit, bro. People are going to get to the point where they're looking at it like, wait, man, like, if you are all this that you say you are, then it should be no problem disclosing certain information, which we haven't seen. Now, we've already been on topic about the whole diploma shit and how he's saying he has 6 degrees. Now, one of the, not to really stay on this degree thing because we're supposed to be moving on, but just to talk about it for a second, this degree thing, I got a couple messages from supposed physicians saying that earning 3 degrees is extremely difficult. Earning 4 is super hard and generally unheard of. 6 degrees? Like, yo, Umar Johnsin, you barely have gray hair. So when did you start going? Basically what you telling me is you got out of high school when you was 13, 14 years old, and you was like a Doogie Howser type, smart prodigy type person who got out of school so early that you were able to get and accumulate 6 degrees. Now, I find that highly unlikely, so I'm going to chalk it up as bullshit. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about this money. We're talking about why you are listed as a fundraiser. Why is Umar Johnson's occupation listed as a fundraiser. Because on the video with Roland Martin, you talked about the last 20 years of some sort of psychology field or whatever the fuck he said he was doing for the working for the last 20 years. Does anybody really know of any job that Umar Johnsin had other than fundraiser? Because as far as I'm concerned, the only gig that he has is fundraiser. And you mean to tell me you accumulated all these degrees and you can't get a six-figure job somewhere to help contribute to the school that you want to build? Because a person with 6 degrees and is a doctor, and he has a doctorate, and he has 6 degrees, that motherfucker should be balling. Now, even if you ain't even about paper, and you ain't even about money like that, and you not trying to really, you know what I'm saying, step out here and be some buttered up businessman, doctor and all that, you trying to just get education and then give back to the people, okay, that's all well fine, bugs, but all I'm saying is, nigga, with 6 degrees, you should be balling. You should have a 6-figure salary job. You should have had that 10 years ago. Because I don't understand why you out here raising money when if you were a doctor like you said, why don't you have any colleagues? Where are your colleagues? Where are your doctor colleagues who actually make a lot of money and or know other doctors and are friends and have other colleagues who makes lots of money, where you raising money should not be that difficult? That's why I want to know, where's that money at, Umar, and how much of it is there? Because if you are listed as a fundraiser, I'm sure you have no problem disclosing what you're doing with the funds and how much you've accumulated so far. And in all honesty, yo, I don't think that that's much for the people to ask. Now, I'm not asking this question, Umar Johnsin, for you to answer me personally. I'm asking this question for the people. The people would like to know, where the fuck that money at that you've been asking for? I just dropped ashes all over me. Where the fuck is that money you've been asking for and collecting? And why the fuck are you listed as a motherfucking fundraiser with 6 degrees? You mean to tell me people go to school to earn doctorates and earn 6 fucking degrees? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6. Yes, Shane. 6. And you don't have any work history? I think that's what I'm going to dive into now. And I'm sending this out to anyone who's listening. Tasha Pope, all my excellent investigators. Can we please find out, where the fuck has Umar Johnsin ever worked? Where has he ever worked? Like, where has Umar Johnsin filled out a job application or sent in a resume or whatever the fuck, and he got hired and he's been working at this place for X amount of months, X amount of years, doing this, earning this amount of money a year? Because this is really, really strange. Look at this asshole. This is really, really strange that this individual has no job history. last video that I put out concerning Umar, when he was offered $50,000 to his cause, and all he had to do was be transparent. That's all they were asking for, was a little bit of transparency. So, Mr. Umar Johnsin, second video, where that money at? I should add to the title, does anyone know or have any clue of any job that Umar Johnsin ever held down other than going around asking people for money for causes that seem to change with the weather? One day you're building a school for boys in the South, you looking down south and you're going to build this school for boys, and then the next thing we know, now you want to go to Africa with our sons. Ain't nobody sending you shit. Ain't nobody sending you no more money until we find out who the fuck you really are, where the fuck all that money that you've been sent so far is, and where the fuck have you worked in the last, I say wherever. Since you got your degrees, where did you gain employment from? And then that's what you was doing, and then you switched up and started being all about little boys. Shame TV East Watch.